Hello everybody, my name is Davon Clark and I am the author of The Adventures of Prada Enchilada, the 7 continents and their animal friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the story today. Thank you to AHA and Jan Meshner for having me on today in order to read to you guys. And so before we start, I just want to ask you guys 2 questions. The first question is, what do you know about the continents? Yes, that's a great answer. That is a wonderful, wonderful answer. So the second question is, how many continents are there? Correct, 7 continents. And then I'm going to ask you one more question. Can you name all the 7 continents? Okay, let me help you out. There's Australia, Antarctica, Europe, North America, South America, Asia, and Africa. Those are all the 7 continents. So what we're going to do in this book, we are going to explore the 7 continents, going from the smallest continent to the largest continent. And so you guys will know the order of the continent, and you'll also find out different animals specific to each continent. So guys, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Let's start. I'm so excited. So first you guys are going to meet Prada Enchilada and Mimi Tortellini. Prada Enchilada sat at the window, looking outside, wondering why he was trapped inside. The doorbell rang. He jumped off the couch, thinking, who stood beyond the door? Let's see who was behind the door. It was Mimi Tortellini, dressed up and ready for a tour. Where are we off to now? Asked Prada. To travel the world, replied Mimi. Great! There is much to see in the world, uttered Prada. Australia, Europe, Antarctica, South and North America, Africa, and Asia. 7 continents in all, which spin on a globe shaped like a ball. Mimi then grabbed Prada's hand and headed out the door, ready to explore. Prada and Mimi hopped on a plane, knowing they could not take a train. The plane flew up high, taking them into the sky. They passed over oceans and clouds until they reached the smallest continent of the bunch. Which continent do you guys think is the smallest continent of the bunch? Correct, Australia. Then along came a breeze, which forced the plane to land among a forest of eucalyptus trees. Prada got out the plane to make sure everything was all right, while Mimi wandered about, taking in the sights. Prada then heard a loud roar.
Is everything okay?
Yes! I am just in awe of the koala holding on to the tree with its bare claws.
While it is snoring, did you know that koalas can be pretty boring? They usually sleep up to 18 hours a day, which leaves no time for play.
Look! There's more than one. Can you help us count them all until we are done?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. You are right. Now it was time to take flight. Uh-oh, it's time to take flight, you guys. Where do you think we're going to now? Which continent you think is next? Okay, let's see. Off they went, back into the sky, to see another continent nearby. The plane landed in Europe, the second smallest continent of 7. So they landed in Europe. So the next continent is Europe. To their surprise, reindeer ran toward them in a herd of 11. Are those reindeer? Asked Mimi. Why, yes, replied Prada. Did you know that their antlers fall off different times of the year? Did you guys know that? Let's see when they fall off. Oh dear, shouted Mimi. The old males fall off in the early winter. The females fall off in the summer, and the young males fall off in the spring.
Can you help us count the number of reindeer whose antlers are missing?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
4, incredible. After enjoying the scene, it was time to hop back into their machine. What do you guys think the next continent is? Let's find out. Let's see. They flew south, floating over the ocean, when Mimi suddenly noticed some motion. I think there's something moving in the water, said Mimi. The plane drifted slowly overhead, while Prada looked at the map and said, "We are in Antarctica, which is the 3rd smallest continent out of 7. So they made it to Antarctica. So Antarctica is the 3rd smallest continent out of 7. That is when a blue whale peeked out its head. Look! I knew there was something moving about, said Mimi.
Ah, blue whales. It looks like they're sleeping.
Sleeping? I didn't know that whales slept.
Yes, whales sleep too, Mimi. They usually sleep upside down, close to the surface, shutting only half their brains off, which allows them to be alert to come up for air. Come on, let's get out of here before we wake them.
Before we go, can you help us count the number of blue whales sleeping? 1, 2, 3. 3.
3. Terrific. The plane crossed the seas impossibly fast until they reached the Americas at last. Back in America, said Mimi. South America, to be exact. They landed on South America, you guys. So let's see what they discover in South America, responded Prada. South America is the 4th continent that falls in the middle of 7. They stepped off the plane into a watery domain. Let's see what's gonna happen in this watery domain. Yuck! We landed in a swamp, said Mimi. To Prada's surprise, anacondas were roaming freely. I didn't know that snakes could live in water, uttered Mimi. An anaconda's eyes and nose lay on top of their head, which allows it to breathe in the water, said Prada. Ooh, ee!
Can you help us count how many anacondas we see in a row?
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7, that's right. Now let's go. We have more to see before night. Prada and Mimi jumped back on the plane to go see the next continent in all its terrain. So which continent do you guys think is next? They reached North America. So North America was next. They reached North America, which is the 3rd largest continent of 7. From the plane, they noticed a bison grazing. Did you know that bison have poor eyesight, but their sense of smell is amazing, said Prada? Look over there! Some more stand, observing with their brown hair, said Mimi.
can you help us count the number of bison grazing to our right?
Yes.
Great, let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Marvelous. Now, can you help us count the number of bison to our left? Yes. Okay. Are you ready? Yes. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Wonderful. Now that we have counted the bison on the left and the bison on the right, can you help us add 4 plus 4 to get the correct number of bisons grazing?
Yes.
Terrific. So if we add 4 plus 4 together, it will give us
8.
8. That's right.
8, correct. After they finished the task, it was off to explore Africa at last. Africa is the 2nd largest continent amongst 7. Mimi looked out the plane to notice some lions full of manes. I wonder why some of the lions have manes while the other ones seem rather plain, explained Mimi. Prada explained, male lions grow manes, but females do not. The plane slowly landed.
Can you help us count how many female lions do not have manes?
1, 2, 3.
3.
3, super. As Prada boarded the flight, he wondered what else might they sight. So we got one more continent left. So what do you guys think the last continent could be? Remember, we said all the continents in the beginning. So do you guys remember what the last continent could be? Then they were off to see a continent that was not small at all. Asia is the largest continent of the bunch, which I'm sure you had a hunch. So I'm sure you guys had a hunch that you knew that Asia is the largest continent. The plane landed in a dense jungle. Mimi stepped out and took a little stumble. That is when Prada spotted some eyes peeking out from the grass. Mimi shouted, "Oh no! What is it?" Uh-oh, so what could it be? They spotted some eyes peeking out in the grass. What could it be, you guys? What do you think? What animal do you think lives in Asia? What animal do you think lives in Asia? Let's see if you're right. Let's see. All of a sudden, an orange, white, and black tail went past. "Ah, it's a tiger," said Prada. Did you know that tigers use their stripes to camouflage from their prey?
Can you count how many tigers you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Wonderful. Prada and Mimi were done exploring. So we're done exploring. We're about to go back to where Prada and Mimi started. So you guys ready? Here we go. They made it back safely to North America. Mimi hopped out the plane to inspect the area. "What is it?" asked Prada. "I wonder if they can remember the continents and animals we saw. Hopefully it will not stump them at all." So the first continent, which is the smallest continent, is Australia. And what animal did we see in Australia? Correct, the koala. The next continent we saw is Europe. Correct. And what animal did we see on Europe? The reindeer. Correct. We saw the reindeer on Europe. The next continent we saw is Antarctica. Good job. And what animal did we see on Antarctica? Exactly. We saw the blue whale. Good job. The next continent is South America. You got it. And what animal did we see on South America? Exactly. The anaconda. Ooh. The next continent we saw is, can you guys remember? North America. Good job. And what animal did we see on North America? The bison. Correct. And the next continent we saw was Africa. Good job. And what animal did we see on Africa? Ah, the lion. Good job. And the largest continent of them all is Asia. Good job. And what animal did we see on Asia? Correct, the tiger. With that adventure over, Prada Enchilada and Mimi Tortellini say goodbye. Until next time, remember to always love, laugh, and reach for the sky. Thank you guys for joining me today. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about the 7 continents, and hopefully you know the order of the continents now from the smallest to the largest, and also know animals that are specific to certain continents that we live on. So thank you again to AHA and Jan Meshner, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye, y'all.